The first thing for you to do before you start building is to upload your resources to the media. Your resources could be pictures, videos, or your logo. And to do this, you go to the dashboard. From the dashboard, you click on the media tab. This opens up. You click add media files and you take the option select files. Here you're just selecting the pictures or the resources you want to upload. And once you have selected, you click on the open button and everything is going to load and appear here. This stage is very important because once all these are uploaded here, at any point in time where you have to use them, you don't have to refresh and reload over and over again. It will just be readily available. The next thing for you to do is to create pages, and you should understand that for this project we're going to be needing 3 core pages: the home page, the contact us page, and the about us page. To do this, you go from the dashboard, you go to the pages tab like this and you click on pages. This opens up. Normally by default you're going to see these 2 pages. Normally they'll always be there since they're default pages that came with the installation of the WordPress. You just go ahead and delete them, and once you're done deleting, you create your own pages. Like right now it's deleted. To create a page, you click this button here, add pages, add a page. You click on the button, this opens up. You just input the name of the page. Like the first page I want to create is home page. Once you input the title, you publish. If you don't publish, the page will not be visible, so you're publishing so that the page can be visible. And once you're done, you click this add page button here again, you create the next page. So you're just going to do this over and over till you create all the number of pages you want. So we're done creating. I'm just going to go back here. As you can see, these are the list of the pages we created, and for you to be sure you've published, you have to see it up here. As you can see, 3. Okay, so after we're done creating the pages, the next thing I will usually do is to create a navigation bar. The navigation bar is this top part that holds the logo and the links to the other pages. If you look, by default WordPress will always create this one for you, but we don't want it because it is not organized. If you can look critically, you will realize that the first page we created is listed the last, and the last is rather the first. So you can compare that with this website we're going to be building. You see where the home button is, but look at where the home button is. So to solve this problem, we have to create a new navigation bar, or a new menu rather. To do that, you click on this customize button over here. This panel opens up. You click menu and you're going to be redirected here. Once you're here, you click on the create new menu button. You just input the name of the menu. I'll just go with nav bar. After inputting the name, you select everything except secondary menu. You tick all the boxes except that of secondary menu. Once done, you click the next button like this, and you'll see this other button here, so you can add items. You click the add items button to add new items to your nav bar you just created. So you click the button and this opens up. Make sure the items you're adding is under pages, and you must ensure the label after the item is called a page. You should not add anything else other than pages. So if you're seeing an item with, for instance, custom link, make sure you don't add it because it's something else. It's not the page you created. So once you're done adding, you publish. Like I said, when you publish, you want it to go visible. After publishing, you realize everything is good now. The order now is there. Everything is just the way we wanted it to be. The next thing for us to do is to set the home page, and to do that, you click on this same customize button. You come here, you click on the home page settings, you click a static page, and you select the home page. You select the page you want to use as a home page. what we're doing, the reason why we're doing this is because currently the home page is the default WordPress page, but we don't want the default page, so we want this page recreated ourselves. So currently the home page is blank because we haven't put any content on it yet, so that is why it is blank. We're gonna walk through the process of putting contents on the page very soon. Okay, we have gotten now to the phase where we have to start putting content on the individual pages we created. This process of putting this content is the actual building. So here is where the actual work is. What we were doing previously is just setting up and configurations to ease the flow. So building and editing the page, or what we're about to do henceforth, is where the actual work is. So stay tuned, log in. We're going to be starting with the home page. I want you to understand that editing the page or putting content on the page is the same thing. That is, for you to put content on the page, you have to edit the page. So in the process of editing the page, you're putting content and you're removing the ones you don't want. So in order for you to add content to a page or to build a page, all you have to do is to ensure you're on that page, and you just go over here and click this edit page button. Like I said, we're starting with the home page, so we'll just proceed, and you're going to be redirected here. From here, you choose, since your page builder is Elementor, so you're going to click edit with Elementor. You're going to be redirected here where we do the building. Once you're here, the first thing to do is to ensure the title of the page, this home, is not displaying because it's going to interrupt our design, so we have to hide it. To do that, you just have to click on the Astra icon, that's the theme icon, this, and you select general settings, scroll down and you take the option hide title. You just toggle it on and you publish. You see how it has wiped. The next thing is to set the colors we will be using, and to do that, you just click on this icon here. After the plus icon, this opens up. You select global colors and you'll be redirected here. So here we're going to set each of these colors. If we go back to the website we want to build, if you look critically, you realize most of the colors you see is blue. That is to say, blue is the primary color. And one thing about colors is colors have codes. Like, since that blue, I already know the code, I'll just go directly and input the hex code. But in a case where I don't know the code, I'll have to use this button, this, and scroll through trying to pick the correct color, like the way I'm doing here for this black. And just like that, I set the colors, the individual colors for each item. And that is all. You save changes and you go back to the page builder panel. Okay, we're going to proceed with containers and widgets. Before we continue, I would like you to understand that a web page is made up of containers, and in those containers, widgets are placed in so that content can be formed. So here I'll be showing you how to add containers and how to add widgets, not leaving out how to manipulate containers and widgets, because it is very important in this process. So to add a container, all you have to do is click on this plus icon like this, and you select Flexbox. From here, you choose the structure you want. It can be vertical, horizontal, two-sided, 4 columns, so on and so forth. Once you just decide and you click on any of them, it's going to appear like this. So once it's like this and you want to add another container, you just repeat the process again. In a case where you have to add a new container in between the two existing containers, what you do is you come to this plus icon on the second container and you click on it. You will notice when you click on it, you're going to see the same panel, and you repeat the process again. You select the flex box and you choose the structure you want to add. Like, for instance, I'll add the 4-column structure now, and that's it. It comes out. So basically you can add containers, you can close containers, you can do a lot of things with containers. I want you to understand the use of these buttons here. The plus button is to add container. The three dots are for highlighting the container, and the X or the X icon is to close the container, like delete the container. If you notice, anytime we highlight a container, another panel appears on the left like this. If we highlight this container like this panel appears on the left showing layout, style, and advanced. So you should know this about containers. With containers, you're gonna see layout, style, and advanced. But when we come to widgets, you're gonna see what happens when we highlight widgets, and I will get to explain what this layout, style, and advanced are for. So don't bother yourself now. Okay, to add widgets now, all you have to do is click this plus icon and you'll be redirected here. From here you see all the list of widgets that exist, from the free ones to the pro version ones. But for the main time, the most important thing for you to do is to understand what widgets are all about. So widgets are just what helps you build or put contents on your website. So there are two main ways to add widgets to your containers. The first way is by dragging and dropping. This is how it's been done. From the widget list, you spot out the particular widget you want to import or you want to drag and drop. You highlight it, as you put your cursor on it, you click, without releasing, you drag and you put into any container you want. Let's repeat the process again for a different widget. You click and you hold, then you drag. Using the highlighter, you know where it will be placed. So where that thing highlighted, that's where it's going to be placed, and you can repeat the process over and over again. So this is how you drag and drop widgets. Try this. Okay, the other way of adding widgets is by highlighting the container where you want the widget to be placed, and you click the widget icon and come to the list, and you just click on the widget and you click back on the container, go back to the list, and you just click on the widget. You click once. I think so far this would be the easiest method. Just click and the widget comes. So if the first method is difficult, then try this method. Containers have layout, style, and advanced. That means when you highlight a container, you see layout, style, and advanced. But when you highlight a widget, what you see is content, style, and advanced. Content, style, and advanced. So I'll explain this and I'll tell you what each of these stands for, or when to use each of these, so that you better understand. Okay, let's begin with the layout of containers. So the layout controls the size of the container. There are just three things here I want you to pick out. You should note that the layout controls the height, the width, and the direction. If you can know these three things, then you're good to go. Like for instance, I can influence the height of this container by just increasing it. See how I increase it. See what happens. By just increasing it like this, the height increases. You get. So the layout controls the size of the container. Let's see how the direction, like I said, just height, width, and direction. See what the direction does here. If I change the direction from vertical to horizontal, see what happens. That means as you're adding content, instead of it going downward, it will start going horizontally. You understand? So you just need to understand these three basic things about layout. Let's go now to the style. The style is all about decoration. It's all about design, all about effects. Like for instance, if I want to design this container and give it a background color of red or any other color, I'll just come here under classic. Under the color option, I will just choose the color I want to give. You understand? I can as well use pictures. To use pictures, I just need to come here and click the plus icon, select any picture or anything I had uploaded in the media, and it becomes the new background. I can as well add double colors. You understand? I can give a gradient. A gradient is like combination of two colors. So let's say I want to make it red and black, or red and, yeah, let's say red and black. You see, I can make the background to be red and black. So all of this is literally me decorating this container. I can as well add videos, and I can add a slideshow. Adding a slideshow means you add more than two pictures. That means the lowest should be two, a minimum of two pictures, so that it can, show one, and after these seconds, after 5,000 milliseconds, it switches to the next one, kind of a slideshow, right? So all these are decorations, all about designs to the container. So the style gives design to the container. Once you want to affect the design of the container, you come under the style tab. The background overlay, it gives effects. So if you want this picture to look reddish, you can just give a red overlay. You just choose a red color, for instance, and you come under this opacity, and you see how I increase. The higher the opacity, the more thicker the color will be. So just like that, just get the ideas of these sections. So the layout section was about size, the style section is about design, decoration, you get. And for the advanced, we can go further to the borders. The borders here is still all about decoration, since it's under the style tab. Let me show you what the borders can do. Like now we have no borders. If I use, let's say, a solid border, see what happens. With a solid border, you need to give a width. So let's say I increase the width. Watch what happens. As I increase the width, the corners become thicker. You understand? So that's the idea around borders. And for border ratio, those who are familiar with maths, they should understand this. Ratio has a connection with cycle. So the higher the ratio, the more curved the edges will be, you see. So to make the edge of the container to be curved, you increase the radius, the border radius. Then for the advanced tab, I will have to remove all these designs I did here, so that you better understand. In the advanced tab, there are just three things I would like you to know: margin, padding, and responsive. By just knowing these three things, you're good to go, and I'll make sure I explain it to the simplest way possible. Margin and padding, it has to do with space, like creating space. You just notice somewhere it has to do with spacing. And for me to better explain that, I will add a different container. Let me just go ahead and duplicate this, and let me give it a background. I'll give each of them a background so that you understand plainly. I want everything to be smooth. I want your understanding to be perfect. So let me give a background. Since if I use white background, you get it twisted. You might not see the changes occurring. So let me use colorful backgrounds so that you see what is happening. So I'll just go ahead and give colors to each of the containers. Alright, see how it looks after I give colors. You understand? The colors are just there, tied together. Like you can see where each container is separated from each other. So watch what happens when I give a margin. If I increase, let's say I give a top margin, because you can see it is rightly labeled there, top, right, bottom, left. So you can give margins at the four corners. So let's say this particular container, I give a top margin of, let's just be increasing, and you see how it changes. You select the container, and let's say we want to give a top margin of let's just increase and see what happens when I increase the top margin. It gives space away from the first container, and if I start increasing the bottom margin, see what happens. It gives space away from the last container. So margins are just all about spacing. Then with padding, if you notice, margin was more of spaces outside, like spaces spacing two containers, but with padding you're spacing the widget inside a single container. So all this is for you to understand that padding and margin just have to do with spacing, and you can just put it that margins are mostly for external spacing, then paddings are for internal spacing. I think this is the simplest way to note it down. As for widgets, we have content, style, and advanced. The style and advanced remains the same like that of containers, but the content aspect now gets to do with the text, the content of what you want, like the name implies, right? The content of what you want people to see. So for instance, for the heading, if you want something like hello, you just type hello there. As for the style and advanced tab, is the same like that of the containers. Yeah, you're just doing the same thing. The style is just for design, the advanced is just for some extra kind of thing. So it's the same thing. Okay, since I've taken enough time to explain what containers and widgets are, I'll be a little bit fast when explaining in the actual process of rebuilding this work, this website, this project. Okay,